I'm Nondescripts. He's taking on the first points of the day to take the lead with the conversion to come. Nondes leading 5, Strathmore 0. Conversion goes wide. Nondescripts taking the lead. Nondescripts 5, Strathmore 0. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining us, karibu sana. This is the 42nd edition of the league tournament happening right here at the Impala Club. Currently on pitch is quarter-final game number 2. Nondescripts RFC taking on Strathmore 0.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is game 3 of the Floodlit tournament 2025. Nondescripts having the attack here at the line out. Center referee setting up his position. Nondescripts currently leading. Current scores: Nondescripts 5, Strathmore 0. Nondescripts with the ball. We can see this Ronnie Omondi trying to control the forwards on his side. The forwards are coming around. The number 11 here having a take to the wing. Ronnie Omondi setting up the platform. Here comes the big carry from Hillary into contact. Strathmore Leo is really trying hard here to defend Nondescripts into their 22. Nondescripts taking the ball outright to the winger. Coming in into the Strathmore Leo's 22 is Nondescripts.
of the Kabiberi Sevens tournament, Mwamba RFC. And for the final game of the day, Menengai Oilers taking on the champions, KCB.
A little bit of correction there, Mr. MC. KCB are the National Sevens circuit champions. This is a new season is here. The Menengai Oilers are the defending champions of the Floodlit tournament. So the Menengai Oilers really deserve their flowers as the former champions last year's Menengai Oilers there having their win there. And KCB having their win against the just concluded National 7 circuit. Kudos to the bankers. Hope we see the same energy at the 7:20 p.m. game that is later today in the evening. Currently ongoing is Strathmore Leos with a line out here at the 40. Theo having the good take there. There comes Jaden with the carry. That is the combination that I was talking about, Theo and Jaden, the Maseno School alumni of Strathmore Leos. Mola comes there with a grabber. The fumble comes there from Nondi's side. It is a knock-on now against Nondi's. Now Strathmore have a chance here to get themselves into the scoreboard. They're into the 22 of the Nondis. Into the 22 of the Nondis. The pressure is kicking in here. Collins Maina is forming out wide. We can see Victor Mola, the top point scorer of the National 7 circuit. Victor Mola, who was crowned the top scorer at the M-Pesa National 7 circuit. Here today playing at fullback. Collins Maina forming out wide at the wing here. Strathmore Leos having a win there on that scrum. 15 minutes gone. We can see the substitutes here, or rather the replacements, getting or going to the warm-up area. Amon Wamalwa, the big name that currently appeared in the Strathmore Leos. Referee having a word there with the forwards. He's trying to explain what went wrong on that scrum. Strathmore Leos will have a retake on this. Yeah, I was telling you, Amon Wamala, who recently featured in the Strathmore Leos team list, having his move from Queens. Another big name there from Kenya Harlequins, adding the spice to the Strathmore Leos squad. The ball is out wide. There was no tackle there. Referee says play is on. They're calling it in wide. We can hear Shikoli saying they have to carry it towards the hedge. Strathmore Leos really pumping into the 22 of the Nondis rugby. There comes Gabriel Aimba out wide. The linesman calls it. The ball was lost into contact there. I don't know which option they'll opt for. Is it a line out or they knocked it forward? But we can see the center referee having a word there with his TJ. As Strathmore Leos prepare to attack once more. They need to get into the scoreboard right now. It is Nondi's ball, but Strathmore Leos want it. It was an overthrow there. Knock on by Nondis. Strathmore Leos get the ball now into the 22 of the Nondis. The pressure is high on the Nondis side. It is the 2025 Floodlit tournament, ladies and gentlemen. The Kenyatta University Black Blood have just whipped the Kenya Harlequins, having their ticket, having gotten their ticket into the semis. And the weather is looking good here. It is Strathmore Leo's ball. We can see Morgan O'Gill forming out wide, calling for it. There comes the pick and go. He decides to play it. That's a good pass from Arnold Mwita. There comes Elton Amalemba with the carry. He attempts to carry one. The forward setting up. It's a direct ball towards Shikoli. That's a went back ball from the Strathmore Leos referee play zone. There comes the cross kick towards Aimba. That's a dangerous tackle towards Benjamin Aimba. The referee has to call it. Yeah, the Gabriel Aimba was already in the air. That's a very dangerous tackle. The referee has to do something. Just showing a polite sign of gesture there, telling him and giving him a warning, allowing the game to carry forward. Strathmore Leos winning the penalty here. Kenyatta University having a ticket there into the semis. Next weekend, catch them here live. Same time, same place at the Impala Club. Bringing you live rugby intense action from 2 p.m. all the way to the after party. Yeah, just a polite word there. The referee decides to send the player to the bin. That was a very dangerous tackle. Gabriel Aimba was already in the air. Nond is there being set to the naughty chair for a 10-minute breather. Their top lock, number 5 there. Having a word there with the naughty seat. Nond is now down to 14 men. Strathmore Leos now have a chance here to actually get into the scoreboard. What are they going to do with this play here? The scrum is good. Morgan comes there in with the first carry. We can see the forwards coming out round. Strathmore Leos can really do this. They can play it quick now. Strathmore Leos pumping into the 5 of the Nondescripts. And there comes the energy. You can see their fans cheering up. They want it now. It is now or never. Strathmore Leos having their forwards carrying it towards the H. There comes the first carry. Captain Chacha coming in with the second carry. Slowly building that play towards the H. We can see the forwards angry for it. Luke Cheptile taking a control there, their forwards. Collins Amaina is open on the open side. I wonder what are the numbers doing on the number. And there comes the try. Strathmore Leos have been awarded the try under the post. Try time, Strathmore Leos. Yeah, that's what the fans came to see.
The first points of the game to make this cause with a conversion to count.
That's what the fans came out here to see.
12.
That's what Strathmore Leos should give their fans. That's what the fans came out here to see. That is the 27 mantra. Now we've just seen there the forwards moving on with their first carry, second carry, third carry into the edge. Strathmore Leos now showing pride and honor in this game. Strathmore Leos having their conversion there in good by Arnold Mwita. Bringing the scores, ladies and gentlemen. Strathmore Leos 12.
Being the second game of the quarter.
Strathmore Leos 7.
Leading 12. Strathmore Leos 7.
And remember, the live stream here is proudly sponsored and brought to you by Evansbet TV. You can follow us live in our all social media platforms. YouTube streaming here live today here, bringing you Game 3 action of the Floodlights tournament. Nondis here leading 12, Strathmore Leos 7. Center referee having a word here with Captain Ronnie Omondi. I'm your commentator, Sullivan Japaso. Yeah, Ronnie Omondi now is satisfied with the referee's word. The kick can continue. Fidens trying to tell the forwards to get in place, to get in line early. Strathmore Leos now having a little bit of confidence here to play the ball. That's a good take on the kickoff there. The ball is lost. Nondis now have the ball. They've lost it forward. It's Strathmore Leos' ball. Referee playing advantage there. We can see Victor Mola. Now that is Victor Mola. Steps 1, steps 2. Now we can see the kick from Victor Mola, who never saw that coming. The chip is good. The bounce is fantastic. Victor Mola there. Referee says play on. The advantage is over. Strathmore Leos now setting fast into attack. Yeah, that is the electric Victor Mola, the Sport-Pesa 2025 Sport-Pesa National Sevens top point scorer there, Victor Mola. You can see what he can do. A very dangerous man with the ball in hand. There comes Jaden now. The touchdown was good from Opishe. The ball goes wide now. He's trying to look for the offload. A lot of pressure here, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of action happening in a span of a few seconds here. Nondis decide to go for that breather there, kicking the ball out of their own 22. The kick is good. Wait, yo, Asali. Amefika. The kick is good. Current scores, Nondis leading here 12, Strathmore Leos 7. Strathmore Leos only need a point here. A try and a conversion to get back into this game. A try can also be good as they look to go wide here. The carry is good, the B-ball is good there from Opishe. Shikoli calling the ball. There comes the carry from Captain Chacha. Captain Chacha who featured for the 2020 under-20. They are now captaining the side here. Strathmore Leos, the carry is good from the big boy Nyandusi. Talk about being carries here. Strathmore Leos now. Strathmore Leos losing the ball forward there to Nondis. After setting a good play there to come out wide. They really need to be patient now here on their plays. Who's calling for the ball? Who wants the ball? Who's sure for that pass? At these moments when they're attacking and the scrum half is really taking the game quick, the forwards really need to cool down, get into their pods right. I know like what they need to do and handle it under pressure. As we continue to bring you live intense action here from Impala Club. Nondis there decide to play it out wide. Fidens there. Strathmore Leos having a win there, winning that penalty. A lot of mistakes happening in the last 2 minutes here. The teams need to cool down. The scrum half need to take charge. The TED need to control the pods. The plates need to be set right. We can see the coach here having a word. The technical bench here having a word or two on whatever they should do. This is a rivalry here, ladies and gentlemen, having Coach Willis Ojal having featured for the Nondescripts. Now, the current main coach of Strathmore Leos having to play his side here. Strathmore Leos trying to go out wide there. Gabriel Aimba being arrested on that contact area. Big carries coming in here. Big boys really want it. Arnold Muita decide to go for distance there. The kick finds grass. The kick is good feedance. Taking composure there, decides to kick it back. It is a straight out there. That was good play there from Arnold Muita. The current scrum half, you can say one of the best number 10s we have in the country. Currently featured for the Morans at the just concluded Safari Sevens. He earned his cap there, worked hard for it. Now here, shifted his focus to the 15th side, trying to help the side, the university side, get their comeback here against Nondescripts. And the referee calls it there for no straight. Nondescript being down to 14 men. Strathmore Leos have taken the opportunity to have at least one on the scoreboard. As we see the top block warming up here. A few minutes to go. A few minutes to go to get back into the game. The coach there just having a word on what he should do. Yeah. That's a knock on there. Strathmore Leos winning the ball. Strathmore Leos winning the ball there. Strathmore Leos now showing a little bit of composure here. Mola there having a word with Collins Maina. Collins Maina felt like Mola was supposed to be there. They have settled it out. Mola now going back, forming wide. We can see Elton Amalemba there trying to analyze and organize himself there with Arnold Muita. Morgan Ogel is also an option there, as we see Strathmore Leos setting up for a scrum here at the Nondis 22. The scrum is good. There comes Luke Cheptile. And there comes the cross kick again from Arnold Muita. The cross kick was good. Gabriel Aimba there, just missing on the ball. He was onto it. I felt like he had it. Nondis here, just winning the line out. But in this particular time, I felt like Strathmore Leos should have kept the ball, or rather like not go for that cross kick, because just to set the platform here, they are into the half of the Nondis, they're into the 40. So Strathmore Leos, they should have set here a B-ball, then maybe try to win the penalty there, and then the cross kick now come. But you never know, high risk, high reward. You never know what could have come of that. Nondis here having a scrum down, meaning Gabriel Aimba knocked it forward. That is so unfortunate for the young winger who was currently in the Shuja squad and also a champion of the current concluded Safari 7 season. And Strathmore Leos here really dominating into the 20 minutes of the game. Strathmore Leos here really showing dominance, ladies and gentlemen, winning these penalties of the Nondescripts. And Strathmore Leos have another scrum here, as we see Mola, Victor Mola and Arnold Muita organizing themselves, ready to attack. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2025 Floodlights tournament, proudly brought to you by Impala Rugby, proudly sponsored by M-Pesa, Coca-Cola, Tico Hub. Current scores: Nondescripts Rugby 12, Strathmore Leos 7. Gabriel Aimba decides to go into contact there. We can see body piling up around the ball there. Strathmore Leos really bringing in bodies into the 22. Can they really break a line here? Mola wants it for himself. There the ball, the back door there. Victor Mola. There comes Victor Mola. There goes Victor Mola for the try. And Victor Mola is in. Victor Mola. Victor Odhiambo Mola. He really had to score, ladies and gentlemen. He really had to score.
Strathmore Leos with their first try.
The mismatch was there early. The mismatch was there early.
The second one.
Arnold Muita called for it. He saw the mismatch. Arnold Muita. Victor Mola had already called for it. They had numbers on the outside. We were seeing Collins Maina also an option on the outside. Victor Mola had too much pace on him. Now bringing the scores, ladies and gentlemen. Strathmore Leos 12. Nondescripts 12. Luke Cheptile, another young lad at 19 years, only featuring for the Strathmore Leos. The conversion is good. There comes Luke Cheptile with the conversion. The conversion is good. And ladies and gentlemen, Strathmore Leos leading this game now. The game is back on their favor. Strathmore Leos 14. Nondescript 12. I told you they only needed 2 tries. They only needed 2 tries. They only needed 2 tries to get back into this game. And they delivered. They delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, talk about Victor Mola, the current national sport pesa, top point scorer, Victor Odhiambo Mola, the winner assassin. All the way from the leg side. He has the Joey walk in him. Victor Mola, ladies and gentlemen, that is a boy from the lake. The kickoff is good here. Nondescript decide to go deep. There comes Collins Maina with a big carry in their own 22. There comes the dummy now. And the big carry there from Uncle Wafula, or you can call him Waffles, as is known. He's held up there in contact. Nondescript now trying to win here the ball. The take was good from Collins Maina, but the dummy from Waffles, he was held up by the Nondescript pack there. What a big carry there from the number 7. Had a good run also in the Sport Pesa National 7 circuit. Now here in the 15th, ready to show what is capable of. Bringing you live action and intense rugby from Impala grounds is Evans Bet Rugby TV Live. You can follow us in all social media platforms. Subscribe in our YouTube channel as we bring you rugby action, intense highlights. Current scores here, Strathmore Leos leading 14, Nondescript 12. The pressure is high here. Nondis are slowly building into the 22. We can see that the touchdown is good. Referee says plays on. He's lost the ball forward. Referee says you can play on. Ronnie Omondi steps one. He passes the ball is out. There has the knock on. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of handling errors from both sides here. As we conclude our first half here. Strathmore Leos having a win here.
Strathmore Leos leading 14.
Strathmore Leos leading 14. Nondescript 14. 12. Strathmore Leos there having a comeback there from their own Victor Mola. The try is good, the conversion was good. The try is good, the conversion was good. Luke Cheptile having the 2 scores there. The plays, as we continue in, we can see Amon Wamalwa, who is currently signed for Strathmore Leos. Current score, Strathmore Leos 14. Nondescript Rugby 12. It is halftime, ladies and gentlemen. Proudly brought to you by Evansbet TV, together with other Umetosha. The second half kicking off here. Strathmore Leos winning the line out there. Decide to play the bare ball but knocking it forward. The grabber is good but goes out of play. Referee there, we can see the technical team of the Nondescripts side. Trying to have a word there with the referee. I thought I saw a knock on there from Strathmore Leos. Ball Nondescript. As we resume the second half, scores, ladies and gentlemen, Strathmore Leos 14, Nondescript 12. Nondescript forming here deep to have their set of play here. Billy Odhiambo, who was a former Impala, featured for the Swara back in his youthful ages. Had a run back at KCB with his career, with his first carry of the second half here, as the Nondis try to grind into the Strathmore Leos 22. Strathmore Leos knees down here on defense. Nondescript forwards carrying it towards the H. Showing a little bit of composure here is Strathmore Leos on defense. Nondescript grinding hard and slowly into the 5 of the Strathmore Leos. The big boys there want the ball from themselves. We can see the back line having the split. That's a good drive, and it's a knocked forward there by Nondescript. That was a good drive there by the Nondis forward. It's a try.
Right again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, karibu sana to the 42nd edition of the Floodlit.
Nondis losing the ball there into contact. It was a good drive by the forwards.
Strathmore Leos leading 14.
Adrian Wallace
12. Coming up after this game,
wanted it.
It's the third game
the try there
of the quarterfinals.
Bringing you live action here. The second half
We'll be having
of the game. Strathmore Leos here having the scrum
of the Kameberi 7
in their own
Mwamba.
5. This is a danger zone area. This is the red zone area. They are strictly advised not to play here. Strathmore Leos having a win at that scrum. Arnold Muta goes for the tap and go. There comes the dummy. There comes the first break from Collins Maina. Collins Maina still having a run at it. Collins Maina stepping out here. That was a good tap and go from Arnold Muta, the former Lenana captain, featured in the 2017 high school games here in Nairobi School. Now climbing the ranks and bringing his superiority and showing his rugby intellect in this game here. That was a good tap and go. Collins Maina broke from the first tackle, just stepping out there. Amon Wamalwa, another big name that was signed from Kenya Harlequins, having been dropped from that team. Nondescripts decide to go out wide. There comes the inside ball towards Lamek Ambetsa, another big name that was signed by Nondescript. That's a forward pass from the Nondescript rugby. The referee didn't see it. The center referee didn't see it, but that was a forward pass. And there comes Nondis into the 22. They say the referee is always right. Strathmore Leos showing resilience here as they defend their own try box here. Nondis leading slowly into the 22, losing the ball there. Referee is always right there. Thought I'd seen a forward pass. Nondis showing good rugby there, playing it out wide. John Mark here warming up for the Nondescript side. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Rhodes and Nondescript is the first team here in Kenya to turn 100 years, as they were celebrating that last season with their new Hemingway's kits, celebrating quite a milestone there. This whole club there having achieved quite. Strathmore Leo setting up there slowly on their scrum. There comes the clear, runs from Amon Wamalwa. The kick doesn't find touch. Nondis decide to run it out wide. Fidens is calling for the ball. Does it find? The kick is good from Fidens. He finds touch there, pressing Strathmore Leos back into their own 22. Fidens Maina there, showing quite some good football skills. The former St. Mary's Yala, who featured in the 2015 Nyanza Regional Games. Nondis here signing another big name, Obungu Oade from KCB, a former Strathmore Leos player. Strathmore Leos now trying to go wide into their own 22, trying to get the high risk, high reward here, playing into their own half. Is Strathmore Leos with the ball. There comes the short line from Shikoli. Loses that ball. Resilience on their defense. There comes the step from Fidens. He goes for the offload. The ball is loose. Referee says play on. No hands in the rack, says the referee. Plays on. Strathmore Leos winning another penalty in their own 22 here. Strathmore Leos really showing some discipline there on defense. We can see Captain Chacha Raymond organizing his scrummage buddies there, as Arnold Muita now taking the charge of the number 9 role, tries to analyze with his number 10 Amon Wamalwa. who just drops a little bit behind Morgan Ogiel here. Collins Maina forming wide, another Kangaroo alumni who featured in the national games in 2017. Arnold decides to play it wide. There comes Mole into the first contact. Strathmore Leos really securing that track. Nondis here now pressing Strathmore Leos into their own 22, showing a little bit of discipline there in defense. Amon decides to go for the kick. The kick is into the hands, straight into the hands of, there comes the grabber from, and there comes the knock-on from Morgan Ogiel. The kick was good there. Nondescripts playing their ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again
into the Nondescript half. We can see Kinywa Wayaki having a good kick there to the hands of Morgan Ogiel.
Coming up after this game, ladies and gentlemen, the host of the tournament.
A lot of handling, we have seen a lot of handling areas in this match, in the first half and also in the second half. Both teams having a lot of handling mistakes, a lot of knock-ons, losing ball into contact. Let us see what Nondescript can do with it when they have the ball at hand here. Kinywa analyzing there with Lamek Ambetsa, another big name that featured for Cabras in the last season. Now having to migrate here to the Greenlands of Nairobi. The scrum is looking good there from Nondescript Rugby. Arnold Muita analyzing there for us to go low. Referee says it's good, play on. There comes the chip over from Kinywa. The chase is good from Gabriel Aimba as he tried to step one. Breaks out or two, but the tackle there is good from the Nondis. Gabriel Aimba still fighting into contact there. As they secure that track, Strathmore Leos pressured here into their own 5. There comes the knock-on from Strathmore Leos. Intense pressure here. The chase from Gabriel Aimba was good. The rack was secured, but a lot of pressure coming in from the Nondescript forwards. As we see another handling error. Here, Nondescript winning that ball here in the 5 of the Strathmore Leos. As Ronnie Omondi decides to organize with his teammates there. They want here, they really need to get into the scoreboard here. There comes the carry from Steve Odhiambo. The flanker came out. It was a good take there. We can see bodies there at the scrum. There comes the pick and go. Ambrose Ouko now calling for the ball. The forwards want them. Can another pick and go work for the Nondescript side? Or Strathmore Leos can show another resilience here on defense? Pressure here from both sides. The scoreboard is tight. The weather is looking good here from Impala grounds. Nondescript fighting hard to get into the Strathmore Leos try box here. Strathmore Leos defending their own try box here. It's a battlefield against. It's a held up there. Strathmore Leos really showing resilience there on defense. And there comes the super subs, the bomb squad. Ali had mentioned Obungo Ade, who recently made his move from KCB. There comes John Marco Witi, a former Yala winger. Fidence is out. He's done his first 60 minutes. He's done a good job. Had an amazing run there. Fidence is replaced there. As we see another sub being made. Strathmore Leos decided to kick. As Kinyua opted for a drop kick there. But Nondes has seen the space out wide, calling for the ball. We can see the Strathmore Leos now back again on defense once more here, ladies and gentlemen. Bodies piling up around the 122. The defense is good, the turnover is good. Strathmore Leos now going wide. The carry comes from Strathland Shikoli. The Nondes bodies are offside. There comes the carry. Another big carry there from Strathmore Leos. The offload is good. We can see now Strathmore Leos calling for the ball. Referee, it is Nondes ball. Strathmore Leos losing yet another ball there after showing some very hard work there on defense. Strathmore Leos really need to keep the ball here. Coach Willis Ojal having a word there with his captain, Arnold Mwita, not to play in their own half. There we can have Coach Willis Ojal having a word there with his bomb squad there. Felix Ouma, another big name that was signed from Homeboys Club, now featuring for Strathmore Leos. Jack Angao, another Maseno School alumni. Davis Mbila, Willis Ojal there have a wording with the big forwards there. Remember, those who are watching us live in our YouTube channel, remember to subscribe as the Nondes attempt on the 3 here. The kick goes wide here as Kinyo misses the kick. The penalty goes wide here. Shout out to our fans who are streaming here live, intense rugby action, fresh from Impala grounds. Remember also to subscribe on our channel. Follow all our social media platform at EvansBet TV. Current scores: Strathmore Leos 14, Nondescripts 12. Shout out to Kele. I see you there. I see you, Kele, watching live. Strathmore Leos calling for a knock on there. Nondescript losing the ball into contact. We were talking about handling areas from the Nondescript side, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of handling mistakes in this game. Bruce Odhiambo taking charge in the midfield area. Stormzy Odhiambo, another Alliance alumni, who is now featuring in the 2025 Floodlit tournament, proudly sponsored by M-Pesa, Impala Club, Tujiamini, Tico Hub, Coca-Cola, bringing you live and intense rugby action is EvansBet TV. The scrum here goes to Strathmore Leos. Arnold Mwita taking charge of the number 9 after donning the number 10 jersey on the first half. The up and under is good from Amon Wamalwa. The chase is good. There comes the tackle. There comes the grabber now. There we can see bodies around Nondes. There comes the kick. Collins Maina, Amon Wamalwa calling for the ball. There comes Collins with the kick. The kick is good. The kick is good from Collins Maina. Nondes bringing yet another kick here into the hands of Amon Wamalwa. What will Amon Wamalwa do? Can he bring his starboy shows back into the number 27? There comes the dummy from Amon Wamalwa, but is taken into the first tackle. Morgan Ochiel taking charge now on the rack, waiting for his captain Arnold Mwita to bring the ball now into the hands of Escobar. Escobar now with the carry. With the first carry now come Esco. Arnold Mwita now with the pass into the hands of Dennis Tubey. Dennis Tubey with the first carry. There comes the builder from Strathmore Leos. Nondescript here winning the ball into contact there. Shikoli calling out that they really need to make that sub right now. Another, we can see another man there, Barnabas Owo, taking leadership on the Strathmore Leos side from the sidelines. giving instruction to the young lads there on what to do. Remember, Strathmore Leos featuring here a very young squad. Talk about the likes of Akina Thomas Opio, barely 20 years, fresh out of Maseno School here. We are talking about the likes of Akina Chacha Raymond, who featured in the 2020 Under-20 games. The Bathurst Cup winner, former Under-20 winner. The line break is good there from Nondis. The offload is good towards Ronnie Omondi. Referee there calling Strathmore Leos to release from the rack. We can see the ball is out wide. Collins with the ball. Hey! What a play there from Collins. Maina. The bomb squad there. Big names. Fresh out the bench. Jack Angawa. Talk about Dennis Mbila. Yeah. And all of them are tired now. Nyandusi having done their first 65 minutes of the game here. We can see the young lads, Jaden, coming out. The barely 19 years who have pushed here, done 70 minutes, done the hard work, they've done the job. Talk about Escobar doing the job there. Award there with their coach. Correction, ladies and gentlemen, having put their shift, 60-minute shift there, coming out, you can see the likes of Akina Dennis now coming in, fresh legs. Dennis Mbila, who had a good run in the last season, coming in now for Strathmore Leos. Strathmore Leos here winning a line out, losing that ball. Nondescripts here winning their line out here. The time is back on. The center referee says we can play on. There comes the line out. Strathmore Leos winning that line out from Nondis. The release was good from Collins Maina. And there comes another handling error from Strathmore Leos, giving Nondis an advantage into the Strathmore Leos half. And now Nondescripts getting into the scoreboard there. I told you this was going to be a cage fight. This was going to be a dog fight between these two sides. Great rivalry here. From back then, we can see the Nondis players falling back to their own half, as Strathmore Leos having a word there on what they should have done right there. But this is becoming one of the greatest rivalry in Kenya Cup action, not only in Kenya Cup, but also in the National 7 circuit, where we saw Strathmore Leos having a couple of wins against Nondescripts. But now into the 15th season, things might take a turn here. Current scores, Nondescripts having their conversion there. Nondescripts now back to leading this game here. The kick goes deep into the Nondis half. The take is good by Adrian Wallace. The bounce is good there and the ball finds touch. Nondescripts there now finding a little bit of composure there. Playing into the Strathmore Leos half. Leading this game is Nondescripts as the Floodlights are half now. Remember, this is the third rugby game of the day. Strathmore Leos there showing composure in their line out. There comes the carry from Dennis Mbila. The rack is secured well. And Nondis winning there, the rack. Nondis now calling there for the 3 points. Strathmore Leos really need to do something here. The pressure is on their side right now. Nondis is on a good spot here. As we see Kinyua are lining up for the kick. The penalty that went towards Strathmore Leos there. I don't know if referee called holding the ball, all it was the player dived into the rack. But Joseph Mumo here, the center referee, having refed so many Kenya Cup games, achieved a couple of high level of experience in his refereeing career. The kick is wide here by Nondis. Joseph Mumo there, having received. We can see there Foxy having a word there with Captain Arnold on what he should do. Joseph Mumo bringing his experience that he has ref through the years here in Kenya Cup Rugby. The kick goes deep towards Strathmore Leos, towards Nondescripts, sorry there. Another kick there now goes deep towards Strathmore Leos. Amon calling for the ball. Decides to play it on his Amon Wamalwa. There comes the tackle. Hard tackle there from Wodo Yare, chopping Amon Wamala. And Nondescripts there winning the ball against Amon Wamalwa. Amon Wamala opted there to go into contact, playing into his own half. That was a dangerous decision to make. Strathmore Leos winning. Strathmore Leos here losing that ball again. Nondis winning another penalty against Strathmore Leos. Forming for the kick here. Lamek Ambetsa, another big name coming straight out of Cabras here, now featuring for the Red Lion. Nondis Rugby, they go for the kick is good, and there comes the 3 points. Nondis Rugby extending their lead here as we continue to receive full rugby action here at Impala grounds. Proudly brought to you by Impala, your live stream partners Evansbet TV, your official partners Tico Hub, Coca-Cola, M-Pesa, Tujiamini. Strathmore Leos now kicking again, having that restart into the Nondis half. Strathmore Leos fighting real hard to get into the Nondis 22 here. Nondis fighting really hard to retain the ball. We can see they don't want to play in their own area. The number 10 decides to dummy that kick, now goes for the distance. There comes Gabriel Aimba. Referee says went back, and there comes the knock-on from Gabriel Aimba. Strathmore Leos having a lot of handling errors here. The pressure is blooming. Nondescripts Rugby technical bench here. They're on the happy side. They are celebrating. They're having a lead on this side. Ambetsa having his composure, calling for the ball out wide. Everything should work for them. Everything should work in favor for them towards that scrum. Shout out to you who are streaming here. Live rugby action brought for you by M-Pesa here at Impala grounds. Same energy next weekend as we go into the semi-finals of the Impala Floodlights. Nondis decide to take it out wide. We can see that was good defense there from Collins Maina. The referee says no hands in the rack. Nondis decide to carry the ball. There comes the first carry. Strathmore Leos contesting here on the rack. They want to win the penalty. The referee shows the ball is available. They can play it. There comes the blitz defense. Obungu steps out of one tackle but is held on the second tackle. Strathmore Leos really need to win this ball or do something. There comes the cross kick from the Nondis side. Gabriel Aimba knocks that forward. As Nondescripts continue to pile a lot of pressure here. This is turning out to be the greatest rivalry here in Kenya rugby. In this 2025-2026 season, these sides have met twice in this Floodlit quarter-final stage. Last year, Nondis, they won this one. It was a close contest. As we approach the 70-minute mark, Nondis here having a lead. Strathmore Leos there. Strathmore Leos there showing a little bit. The referee wants to have a word there with the captains. He felt like that there was a little bit of indiscipline towards both teams. But you know what they say, ladies and gentlemen. Rugby is a game played by gentlemen. They just sort it out there. It goes no further than that. It is Nondis ball as they ought to go for the line out here. Gabriel Aimba going to the bench. Gabriel Aimba going to the sin bin there, to the naughty bench. That forces Nation to go back to the... Gabriel Aimba there going to the naughty bin, being sent out for 10 minutes with only 12 minutes to play in this game, little less than 15 minutes. We see Gabriel Aimba there being timed on the naughty bin. Gabriel Aimba, son of the former legendary Benjamin Aimba, who has brought a lot of bit of impact towards the young generation that you are seeing here, a lot of talents here. Benjamin Aimba, who was once the coach of Amon Wamalwa in the Homeboys side, also coached the Strathmore Leos back in his glory days. First coach to bring the HSBC Sevens title back in 2016 when they won the Singapore Sevens title with the likes of the famous Colin Sinjera, Andrew Amonde, who is now the KCB coach, who will be facing Menengai Oilers today, later this evening in the final match of the 2025 Floodlit Rugby Tournament. Nondis here with the ball, trying to add another score into the Strathmore Leos here. We can see Amon Wamalwa taking lead on that defense here. The ball is out. There comes the carry from Nondis. Only a few meters into the Strathmore Leos try box. Big bodies going, big bodies piling up. Referee calling and held up there. Strathmore Leos defending well. We can say that a lot of handling errors from Strathmore Leos and also Nondis have cost them a lot in this match, considering the fact that they have really defended well, but a lot of handling errors, mistakes, knock-ons. The kick doesn't find touch. Lame Kambetsa with the ball. He decided to take the first carry into the shoulders of Collins Maina. That's a good tackle from Collins Maina. It's a high tackle advantage going now towards Nondescript. Obungu with the carry. There comes the wide ball. They decide to play it in space. There comes the overlook pass from Nondescript. The pass was good. There comes the first step, second step, and Nondescript decide to play it wide. This is try time here. Nondescript rugby. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing here today is the true version of celebrating 100 years of rugby. Nondescript rugby showing what they can do when it comes to the 15 side. Strathmore Leos had a good run on the 7 side towards the Red Lion, but now Nondescript, I think they are going to say, kudos guys, the job is done. Let us take it now a step higher for you into the 15th season. A couple of young lads and energy coming in for Strathmore Leos as we see the replacements of the likes of Collins Maina, Commando, who has been recently bought fresh from another successful club in the Betika season, Winam in the Nyanza region, joining now the university side at only 20 years is your boy Commando, having earned his first cap here from the Strathmore Leos side. He needs to take the intensity high. People need to feel him. People need to know why he had to be brought down with the 27 boys. Felix Ouma there, earning also his caps. Fresh from Homeboys there, number 19. Morgan Ojel now coming out and taking the wing. And taking the wing there. We can see Nation. And the take is good there from Strathmore Leos. Do they have what it takes to get into the scoreboard right now? There comes the big carry. Strathmore Leos really fighting hard here towards Nondescripts. There comes the dummy from Amon Wamala. That is the reason why they call him Starboy. The dummy was good. Strathmore Leos really need to get into the scoreboard right now. They have been in this situation a couple of times. They've been trailing back and they've shown what they can do when they have the ball in hand. They really need to calm down here. Ease their pressure. The forwards need to get their carries right. Strathmore Leos bringing the ball wide. And the pass is good. There comes the dummy from Morgan. Morgan taking out his first man. Sets the platform in the 22. The advantage was not gained. The referee takes it back there into the 5 of the Strathmore Leos. Into the 5 of the Nondescript. Into the 5 of the Nondescript here, ladies and gentlemen. As Nondescript try to defend their own try box, Strathmore Leos decide to go for the quick tap and go. Fighting really hard here, showing resilience in attack. A squad that is featuring a group of young lads here and a bit of little young names here. And there comes the big hit from Strathmore Leos. Strathmore Leos into the try box of Nondescript. They're back in the scoreboard with the conversion to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you this is the greatest rivalry that is turning out in Kenya Cup history. As we see the former Nondescript coach Felix Ojal and now Strathmore Leos current main head coach having a word with 2 of his players, Victor Mola and Nation. Nation, who was just signed from Mombasa RFC, had a good run at the National 7th Circuit, was the MVP at the Driftwood 7th Circuit, his hometown. And I know the people of Mombasa are out here now in Nairobi to watch him play, to watch this talent, this young talent now being brought to Upper Hill and being bruised. Excuse me, buddy. With only 4 minutes to play, Strathmore Leos really need to get it right here. They really need the right guys to call the right plays. This is where it matters. High risk, high reward. Ball into the hands of Amon Wamala as they decide to go wide. The dummy is good. There comes the break from Morgan. There comes the break from Morgan Ojel. Another young talent at only 19 years. Morgan Ojel. Strathmore Leos. There comes the quick tap from Arnold Muita. Strathmore Leos deciding to play here. Ladies and gentlemen, pressure piling up. This is Strathmore Leos at their level best. This is the 27 mantra. This is what they talk about. The early mornings they wake up. The early trainings they wake up. They are there in the touch, calling for it, calling for the line out. Collins Maina calling for the penalty kick. But it boils down to the players who are inside there, who are feeling the pressure here. Today evening we've seen quite some good rugby action as KU was taking Black Blood there. Black Blood having their win, having their ticket into the semi-finals there. Now as we look to see the win of match game 3, Strathmore Leos here with the ball, calling for that scrum down. The good break was from Morgan Ojel, another Kisii School alumni, class of 2024. Talk about young lads, under 19 guys, making it into the Floodlights tournament here and bringing the show. playing 80 minutes here is Morgan Ojel, another young talent. There comes the 8-man pick from Billa. The 8-man pick is good from the first tackle. Strathmore Leos building up slowly into the 22. They decide to go wide. There comes the backdoor pass. Do they have what it takes to go all the way here? Strathmore Leos here showing some resilience on what they can do on defense and on attack. Nond is also showing a little bit of composure there on their defense. Bodies going down, going down. They've given their all. All these teams, they've given their all. They've paid it all. And as we come to the end of the game 3, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give special shout out to our fans who came in large numbers to fill the stands also here. Also you at home or wherever you are in your work office, in whichever county you are, wherever you are watching us live from, bringing you fresh rugby action, live rugby action here from Impala grounds, from Evans Bay TV. I'm your official commentator, Sullivan Japaso. Few minutes into this game, Strathmore Leos trying to press Nondis into their own 5 here. Nondis winning the ball there. And the game is done there. Strathmore Leos having fallen short there against Nondescripts RFC. Full-time scores, Nondescripts Rugby 27, Strathmore Leos 21.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that full-time...